Welcome back to Hedgehog Studios. So, today we're going to be taking a look at the 2011 film Tappy Toes. Released 17 days before Happy Feet 2, it's the story of a little penguin who discovers he can tap dance. So we begin with the opening titles. 3 times! I mean, the animation of the dancing penguins is cute and all, but 3 times? Really? We then get an explanation of the food chain and how everything eats everything else. It's done with this Looney Tunes blackboard gag. Hey, not every movie can be The Lion King. It's the circle of life, baby. So we're introduced to an egg, and the skua birds that want to eat it. The egg is our main character. The birds discuss the culinary arts and eating boogers. We are in for a real ride here, aren't we? Short story, they're going to steal the egg and eat it raw. The birds execute their plan to steal the egg from Mama Penguin. And so far this whole time we've had a narrator giving an abridged Nat Geo explanation of the film. The birds clearly lay out their plans, and then the narrator freeze frames to explain their plans. You know, kids aren't this dumb. Seriously. Then the birds get trapped in the narrator's diagram of the plan. This tells me that the writers of Tappy Toes have seen Duck Amuck. I wish I were watching Duck Amuck right now. So the narrator erases the diagram, allowing the story to continue. The birds steal the egg and make Mama Penguin sad. Back at the birds' nest, cave, lair, I guess, they go to poach the egg. But Poachy McCookington sees the shadow of the ready-to-hatch baby penguin inside the egg, which he then hides from his friend, roommate, sibling, whatever. They have a steamer trunk also full of stuff they fished out of the ocean. That will be important to the plot later. Lou, the other bird, finally gets the egg from Gabby and doesn't care that there's a penguin chick in it. He's going to eat it anyway. Gabby is horrified. Lou breaks open the egg and goes to eat the penguin chick because he's a monster and stuff. Then the penguin calls him Daddy. Presumably, Lou's heart grows 3 sizes that day, but we don't get to see it because we fade to black with Lou looking annoyed. We now cut to the penguin colony, where we meet the egg's grieving parents just outside Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Although, typically the fortress is at the North Pole, not the South, and I'm a nerd. Back at the lair, the skua birds are settling into domestic bliss with the baby penguin, which Gabby names Pingo. Lou indicates that he would still eat Pingo until Pingo was given a name, because then it'd be like eating the family pet. Lou apparently has standards. Gabby wants to keep Pingo. Lou wants to kick him out. Gabby says Pingo can fish for them, and they'll eat like king penguins. But this doesn't sway Lou. I guess his heart didn't grow 3 sizes yet. But you know it's coming. Pingo wakes up, calls Lou Daddy again, and Lou goes all Maury on him and reveals he's not the father. Then Pingo gives him doe eyes, and there we go. There's the 3 sizes. Cut to a wacky photo shoot with hats from the steamer trunk and the bird's new adopted son. Then we have a photo montage time skip. Sometime later, a day of snow angels and cloud watching is interrupted by a hungry sea lion who wants to eat Pingo. The birds save Pingo and fly away. The sea lion then goes home, and holy crap, he lives in the Wampa Cave! Pingo, you must go to the Dagobah system. The sea lion reports back to his master concerning his food failure, and his boss is a hermit crab. Makes perfect sense. The crab sends the sea lion out to get food. Meanwhile, back at the lair, Pingo, wants to learn to fly. They explain penguins can't fly and disappointment ensues. Lou and Gabby then tell Pingo all the ways that penguins are different from skua birds. Pingo, however, doesn't want to be like the other penguins. He wants to be different and special. Pingo says he wants to be alone and fantasizes about flying. Having his wish for wings that work, Pingo climbs on a stack of books and tries to fly. Surprising no one, this fails, and Pingo crashes into the steamer trunk. Busting out of the trunk, some human junk goes flying about, including a pair of tap shoes that Pingo then lands in. Here we are halfway through this, and we finally arrived at the tappy part of toes. Pingo thinks he can use the shoes as skis. He cannot. But he rises from the ashes of his failure to discover the tap shoes' power of tap and ignoring the laws of physics, apparently. Pingo is seen by a girl penguin, and seconds after discovering the power of tap, discovers the power of hormones. Bella and Pingo have an awkward conversation, which culminates in Bella wanting to learn to dance. Pingo also offers to show her how to catch more fish. But while at the old fishing hole, the sea lion shows up to kill them. Pingo starts tapping as he moves, and the sound of the tapping causes the sea lion pain, driving him away. Bella leaves Pingo until the next day, when her dance lesson will begin, and Pingo is in love. Meanwhile, the sea lion returns to Emperor Crabantine. Emperor Palpin Crab. Star Wars reference! When the crab doesn't respond to the sea lion's groveling, the sea lion assumes Krabby is dead. And he goes all ding-dong, the witch is dead right then and there. Naturally, his crabbiness comes up behind the sea lion. He was out getting a new shell. You know, like you do. We all want to feel pretty. Sir Crabbington pinches the sea lion, and fifis are heard all around. Which leads to the crab going into a Shakespeare routine to pad the runtime. Groveling recommences, and the sea lion explains about the penguin and the tap dancing and how it caused his sonar to go nuts. So the crab plans to attack the penguin colony with several sea lions. Meanwhile, back at the colony, Bella is telling the tale of Tap that saved her life. The colony low-grade doesn't believe her, but Pingo's grieving mother thinks that might have been her son. Pingo almost forgets his date with Bella, but then heads out. As Pingo is impressing the colony with his tap skills, the sea lions attack. Lou and Gabby come to warn Pingo, and the penguins panic. Pingo reveals these skua birds are different, and they raised him. Pingo's mother is vindicated, and Pingo is reunited with his parents. With the sea lions and Krabby slowly coming, Pingo sends Lou and Gabby back to the lair to get something from the trunk. They return with a bunch of silverware, which the penguins then attach to their feet. As the sea lions arrive, the entire colony tap dances up a storm, driving the sea lions off. The skua birds capture the crab. Happy ending, and roll credits. Wow. Okay, so before I get into my thoughts on this, I want to just point out, seeing as how we just took a look at Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears recently, the voice of Pingo in this is played by Katie Lee, who was the voice of Sunny Gummy. She was also the voice of Rolf in the original Muppet Babies and Sheila the Thief in the 1980s Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. So, that's a fun little piece of trivia. Whew. Now, let's start with the good. The animation looked a lot really like Flash animation. I don't know that it was, but it looked like it. But that did mean that when watched on a big screen TV, it was crisp and clear. So it had that going for it. The character designs weren't exactly awful. They were pretty good. There was a couple of decent jokes and references. And lastly, I think Katie Lee, as the voice of Pingo, did bring her A game. So there was that. Now the bad. The animation, though crisp, was also simplistic. They didn't take a lot of chances with it. They went as bare bones really as they could. It was a lot of facial close-ups and a lot of the characters moving by only showing their head and upper torso and having them bounce. So it was rather puppet-esque, really. The plot was flimsy as hell. There just wasn't a lot to it. There was barely any story. Beyond Pingo and the skua birds, no one gets any significant character development. We spend a lot of time with the bad guys, and we don't really learn anything about them beyond, hey, we hungry. There was almost nothing really plot-wise here, and having a runtime of 40 minutes, I feel that was too long. You really probably could have cut this down into a 22-minute episode. Now, I said it had a couple of decent jokes, but in a 40-minute runtime, that's just not enough. Most of the jokes ran long, and they just weren't all that funny. In the end, it was designed as a cash grab to latch onto Happy Feet 2's coattails. So, there we are. Tappy Toes. It wasn't the worst thing ever, and I do wish I could be more generous with it, because I see what it was, and I see what it could have been with just a little more effort. Oh, so, that being said, I gotta give it 1 out of 5 stars. And that's the review. So, next up, I'm going to be heading back into the Disney Plus vault, so I hope you'll join me for that. I appreciate you watching the video. If you'd like to support this channel, you can subscribe, like, comment. I reply to all comments. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in that, and Twitter. Both are linked below. And that's all I got for you. Have yourself a wonderful day.